Hello and welcome to It's Free IP. I'm your host Felix Chaplin, and you read the title of this video. You know what's up. In order of the year they were released, here are the movies we'll be comparing to L. Frank Baum's 1900 novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Up first is The Wizard of Oz from 1939, starring Judy Garland as Dorothy. This is undeniably one of the most iconic movies in the history of American cinema. But is it the most faithful to the book? For the sake of brevity, this movie will be referred to as the 39 version from this point forward. Next from 1978 is The Wiz, starring Diana Ross as Dorothy and Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow. It's based on an all-black stage musical of the same name, so no nickname needed. Next from 1982 is the Japanese anime film The Wizard of Oz. I was only able to find an English dubbed version of this movie, so that's what I'll be going with in this video. We'll call it the anime version. Before saying the next one on the list, there is another anime film version from 1987 that was dubbed into English and narrated by Margot Kidder. However, since it's an edited down version of several episodes from the Wizard of Oz anime TV show from 1986, I've opted to not include it in this list. Sorry if you're a fan of that particular adaptation. Just watch the rest of the video and tally the score yourself for this one. Next from 2005 is The Muppets Wizard of Oz, starring Ashanti as Dorothy, Queen Latifah as Aunt Em, and David Alan Grier as Uncle Henry. Let's just call it The Muppets for short. Last but not least, from 2015 is The Wiz Live. Queen Latifah and David Alan Grier are back, this time as The Wiz and the Cowardly Lion, respectively. There are enough differences between the live version and the 1978 film version for me to consider them separately in this analysis. No nickname needed. These are the 5 films in the running. They'll receive a point for each event that corresponds to an event in the book. Characters and locations can be changed in some cases, but I'll need to make judgment calls every now and then. In addition to the points, I'll also award gold stars for moments that match specific details from the book, silver stars for creative reinterpretations of events that are in line with the spirit of the book, and bronze stars for nods to the book. Lastly, I will be grading these movies on a curve. I won't bring up any events from the book that don't appear in any of the movies. With all that out of the way, place your bets now, and let's get started. 1. The story begins in Kansas. All of them get a point except for The Wiz because it starts in New York. The 39 version gets a gold star because the book described Kansas as being gray and Oz being very colorful, and if you've seen the 39 version, you'll know that the beginning of the movie is in sepia tone, and then the color is introduced later when Dorothy gets to Oz. 2. The cyclone picks up Dorothy's house. Once again, all of them have it except for The Wiz. The Wiz is off to a very poor start, as you can see. 3. Dorothy finds herself in Munchkin Land and is hailed as a hero for killing the Wicked Witch of the East. Points for everyone. The anime version and the Muppets get a gold star because the Munchkins are wearing blue, and the anime version gets another gold star because there are only 3 Munchkins present in that version, as well as in the book. 4. The Good Witch of the North gives Dorothy the Wicked Witch of the East's magic shoes. Everyone gets a point. Gold stars to The Wiz, the Muppets, and The Wiz Live for giving Dorothy silver shoes just like in the book. 5. The Good Witch of the North sends Dorothy on a quest to see the Wizard of Oz and tells her to follow the yellow brick road. Everyone gets a point, and the anime version gets a gold star because the Good Witch of the North gives Dorothy a kiss to protect her. Editing Felix here. The Good Witch of the North also gave Dorothy a kiss in The Wiz Live, so that's also worthy of a gold star. I'm also giving gold stars to The Wiz, the anime, and The Wiz Live because the Good Witch of the North had a magic slate in the book, and these versions decided to include it. 6. Dorothy meets the Scarecrow. Everyone gets a point. The anime version gets a gold star because the Scarecrow falls numerous times while walking down the yellow brick road. The Wiz gets a silver star by having the Scarecrow stuffed with paper. If you're familiar with the story, the book, or all the movies, you'll know that the characters have inside them what they have been looking for. And to show that the Scarecrow is more intelligent than he lets on, in The Wiz, he's filled with scraps of paper that have quotes from various philosophers and poets on them that he's always reading. 7. Dorothy and the Scarecrow find the Tin Man. Everyone gets a point. 8. The trio meets the Cowardly Lion. Everyone gets a point. The anime version gets a gold star because the Tin Man stepped on a bug and cried when he killed it. 9. The characters have to cross a big gorge. Only the anime version gets a point for this one. 10. The gang gets attacked by something that I'm inclined to pronounce as Kalidas, but each version pronounces it differently. All of them have it except for the 39 version. The Muppets get a silver star for having Statler and Waldorf as the Kalidas, as it's pronounced in that version. The anime version gets a gold star for having the exact events played out as they were written in the book. The Wiz gets a silver star because in the scene where they're supposed to be attacked by the Kalidas, they're attacked by various monsters in the subway station, none of which are actually called Kalidas, Kalidas, whatever you want to call them, but I still count it. 11. The characters need to cross a river. The anime version, once again, is the only one to have this one. 12. The characters go to the poppy field. The 39 version, The Wiz, and the Muppets all have it. In the book, Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion fall asleep in the poppy field, and after the Tin Man saves the Queen of the Field Mice from getting eaten, the Queen of the Field Mice summons all the field mice to rescue Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion from the poppy field. The Muppets had the Munchkins coming to save Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion, but since they were made rats in this version, I'm giving them a silver star for this one. The Wiz gets a bronze star for having the Tin Man save the Cowardly Lion and Dorothy. Editing Felix here. I feel like I didn't sufficiently explain that in The Wiz Live, there's a scene where the characters do come across some poppies, but since no one actually falls asleep, I didn't count that for a point. But since they included the poppies, I'll give them a bronze star for that. 13. The gang arrives at the Emerald City and meets the Guardian of the Gate. All of them get a point. The Muppets get a gold star for making the characters wear green-tinted glasses, just like in the book, and the Wiz gets a silver star for having the city lit up by different colored lights. The next 4 points are about each character seeing The Wizard of Oz. In the book, each character gets to see him separately, but some of these movies combine it all into a single meeting. So for those movies that have them all meeting him at the same time, I will be giving him a quarter of a point for each one of these next 4 points. 14. Dorothy sees The Wizard of Oz as a giant disembodied head and is tasked with killing the Wicked Witch of the West. The anime version and the Muppets have it. The 39 version, The Wiz, and The Wiz Live each get a quarter of a point. 15. The Scarecrow sees The Wizard of Oz as a beautiful woman. Once again, the anime version and the Muppets. The 39 version, The Wiz, and The Wiz Live get the second quarter of a point. 16. The Tin Man sees the Wizard as a big monstrous creature. Once again, the anime and the Muppets get a point. The 39 version, The Wiz, and The Wiz Live get a third quarter of a point. 17. The Cowardly Lion sees the Wizard as a fireball. The anime version and the Muppets get a point for this. The 39 version, The Wiz, and The Wiz Live get the last quarter of a point. The anime version gets 4 gold stars for matching all the events perfectly. The Muppets get 3 silver stars for changing the form that the Wizard takes for each character. He appears to the Scarecrow as a fireball, to the Cowardly Lion as a dragon, and to the Tin Man as a beautiful woman who turns into a chicken because Gonzo is the Tin Man in this version. 18. The gang sets out on their quest to find the Wicked Witch of the West. Everyone gets a point. 19. The Wicked Witch of the West sees the gang approaching and sends a pack of wolves to attack them. The anime version is the only one getting a point, but the Muppets get a bronze star for mentioning the wolves. Editing Felix here. The Muppets get a gold star because the Wicked Witch of the West has a magic eye that allows her to see everything that's going on in Oz, just like in the book. And the 39 version gets a silver star because the Wicked Witch has a crystal ball that allows her to see things. 20. The Wicked Witch sends a murder of crows to attack the gang. Once again, the anime version is the only one that has it, and the Muppets get a bronze star for mentioning the crows. 21. The witch sends a swarm of bees to attack the gang. No points for anyone, but the Muppets get a bronze star for this one. 22. The witch sends Winky soldiers with spears to kill the gang. No one gets a point, but the 39 version gets a bronze star for including the Winky guards with spears. 23. The witch sends the winged monkeys to capture the gang. Everyone gets a point. In the book, the winged monkeys attack the Tin Man by carrying him up into the sky and dropping him. While this wasn't done by the winged monkeys in the 39 version, it gets a bronze star for a moment where the Tin Man gets lifted up and dropped. In the book, the Wicked Witch of the West uses a magic cap to control the winged monkeys. In the 39 version, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment where you see the Wicked Witch holding the magic cap, but it's never explained what it is, and you don't see her using it to summon the monkeys, so it gets a bronze star. 24. Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion are imprisoned and enslaved by the Wicked Witch of the West. Only the Wiz Live gets a point for this one. 25. The Wicked Witch gets liquidated. Everyone gets a point. 26. The Winkies fix the Tin Man. The Wiz and the Muppets get a point for this. In the Muppets, the flying monkeys are the ones who fix the Tin Man. 27. The Winkies fix the Scarecrow. The Wiz and the Muppets get a point for this. In the Muppets, the flying monkeys are the ones who fix the Scarecrow. 28. Dorothy gets the magic cap that controls the winged monkeys, who take the gang to the Emerald City. The Wiz and the Muppets get a point for this, but in the Wiz there is no cap. 29. The gang sees the wizard and find out he's a humbug. Everyone gets a point. The anime version gets a gold star because, just like in the book, the wizard reveals how he took the different forms to the different characters. 30. The wizard grants the wishes of the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion. The 39 version, the anime version, and the Muppets all get a point. The Muppets gets a gold star for having the wizard grant the Scarecrow's wish exactly as in the book, filling his head with bran cereal and saying that he had, quote, brand new brains, unquote. Both The Wiz and The Wiz Live just have the characters getting pep talks from Dorothy in The Wiz and from the wizard in The Wiz Live, so I draw the line there and they don't get any points for that, because no gifts were actually given. 31. The wizard and Dorothy make a hot air balloon to go back to Kansas. Editing Felix here. I made some mistakes in assigning points here, so everyone gets a point except for The Wiz and the Muppets. Even though in all of these movies, The Wizard of Oz already had a balloon instead of making a new one with Dorothy as he did in the book. The Wiz gets a bronze star because The Wizard of Oz had a balloon in the background, but they never used it. 32. The hot air balloon flies away without Dorothy. The 39 version, the anime version, and The Wiz Live all have it. 33. The gang goes on a quest to find Glinda, the Good Witch of the South. The anime version and the Muppets get a point for this one. 34. On the way to finding the Good Witch of the South, the gang encounters fighting trees. No one gets a point, but the 39 version gets a bronze star for this one. 35. The gang meets with Glinda, who tells Dorothy how to get back home. Everyone gets a point. And finally, 36. Dorothy gets back home. Everyone gets a point. Here are the final scores. As you can see, the Wizard of Oz anime has the most points and gold stars, with the Muppets close behind with the most silver stars. Keep in mind that this has nothing to do with my own preferences. Between the two highest scoring films, I find the Muppets more entertaining, and the 1939 version is my all-time favorite version. That's all the time we have for today's video. If this does well enough, maybe we can do more book and film comparisons in the future. Don't forget to like this video, share it with the Oz fans in your life, leave a comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss what's next from It's Free IP.